Hey there guys, what is going on? As we normally do with all of the patch notes that do drop, apart from the one that dropped last week, which we skipped out on, we're taking a look at the patch notes, we're reading them, talking about all the stuff that is coming, of course, in the Cold War Warzone Season 1 update thing. The biggest Black Ops year begins. And of course, it's very, very exciting here. Of course, we've got new maps, new guns, but most importantly, we've got patch notes to read. And basically, if you haven't seen one of these videos before, all we're going to do is read the patch notes and have some thoughts on what is actually happening with the changes and stuff like that. And if you're interested in this kind of thing, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, because we do this all the time when patches do drop, because it's a lot of fun to read what is changing and what's not changing, what's happening in the game. So in terms of the actual patch note stuff that we do have here, of course, we're getting all of the stuff that we have talked about previously in Season 1, which is very, very exciting here. Starting off at the top here, we've got the global changes, including the Battle Pass, which of course you know is 100 tiers of unlockable content. This is going to be about $30 for, of course, the Battle Pass bundle, I believe, and about $15 if you do want to start from level 1. Of course, we're getting that cross-game progression, which Cold War, Warzone, Modern Warfare, of course, these are all games that are going to talk to each other. You can rank up, level up, do all these other good things in all of the different games across the Call of Duty universe at the moment, which is very, very exciting, of course. Apparently, we're receiving all of the unlocks and stuff, like perks and everything. They're all getting unlocked, which is super, super cool. And there is 1,000 new levels of sort of season unlockable content ranks to go up through. So you're going to have a lot of content to sort of level up through, which is very, very exciting. You get your prestige keys and stuff like that, new emblems, prestige keys, battle pass, tier skips, and so on as you do get up the levels. 50, 100, 150, 200, and then 250 to 1,000. Of course, you get new keys and stuff like that. There are, of course, being seasonal challenges that are getting added, which gives you new ways to explore the game and stuff like that. Of course, the unique sets of 20 season challenges are being added for both multiplayer and zombies, and then a bunch of other challenges, of course, within seasons and stuff like that. They're all getting added, and everything is going to be nice and sort of packaged up, meaning you can do a lot more things with these challenges. Then we're looking at operator missions, of course, new skins, operator missions in Season 1, of course, meaning you can make your characters look how you do want them to look. And of course, you can do this in multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone to earn additional XP rewards, and of course, these different skins for the operators. Of course, we have got various stability fixes, whatever that means. I mean, the game seems to be running a lot better than it was when it did launch, so that is always good at the moment. Of course, we're addressing various UI issues, which I mean, that's fair enough. You always want these things to be addressed, but I mean, the stability is kind of interesting as well. In terms of multiplayer, we're getting new maps. Of course, we're receiving the Pines, which is the mall-based one, which we haven't actually seen an awful lot of gameplay on. The only thing we saw of it was in the trailer, which is kind of cool. And of course, that is coming to core and hardcore map rotation at the start of Season 1. So I'm not 100% sure if there is going to be a playlist of the Season 1 stuff. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we are getting Raid returning, which is very, very exciting, which is getting added to the rotation as well. Raid, one of the favorite maps of Call of Duty community. Then we're getting the Nuketown 84 Holiday Edition, which is, of course, very, very exciting as well. A little bit of a shake up to the regular sort of Nuketown stuff, making it very Christmas themed. Of course, super, super nice to see stuff like that. Of course, as we mentioned the other day in our video that we took a look at the road map, of course, we're getting Gunfight back. We're getting the game show map, the ICBM map, the U-Bahn, and of course the KGB. There was a little trailer showing off some of these particular maps, and they do look kind of cool. So Gunfight might be something that you're interested in. 2v2 game modes on small maps is very, very cool. Of course, we have adjusted some of the spawns in Nuketown 84 with the idea that we don't actually just want people to like spawn and then get headshot, which is of course very, very nice. It reduces spawn trapping, which is of course very, very prevalent on Nuketown. And we have added spawns in and around the mid-map to reduce spawn trapping, which I have seen as I've been playing a lot of Nuketown today. Nuketown has added like more mid spawns, which is kind of interesting to sort of stop those spawn traps. In the game vote, Gunfight as well, of course, as we mentioned, Gunfight, like those 2v2 game modes getting added as well. We already mentioned that. Prop Hunt is getting added at the start of Season 1, which is very, very exciting. If you don't know what Prop Hunt is, there'll be loads of content on the channel talking about Prop Hunt because it is a lot of fun. I really do like Prop Hunt as a game mode, especially in Call of Duty, because it is a lot of fun in my opinion. Of course, there's different maps that we can play on: the Pines, Cartel, Checkmate, Moscow, Nuketown 84, Holiday, and of course Garrison. That's not the whole list, which is kind of interesting. There's no raid in the map list, which is fairly interesting, but we'll see what happens from there. We are getting additional spawns for hardpoint zones on Crossroads Strike, which is kind of interesting. We're getting another spawn for hardpoint 2 zone 2 on Moscow. That's not really that interesting. Domination's kind of boring as well. This is mostly just changes to specific game modes, stuff like spawns and stuff like that. That is not super interesting to read through. Oh, we are getting featured playlists. Raid them all. At the start of Season 1, we're getting a mosh pit of 6v6 modes on the Raid and the Pines, which is of course very, very cool. Gunfight as well, Prop Hunt, oh, love a Prop Hunt playlist. And then Nuketown 84 as well. We are, of course, getting the new weapons in the Mac-10 and the Groza as well. And then we are getting, I believe, the Street Sweeper, which is like the striker mid-season, which is one of those things that does happen occasionally. Mac-10 looking to be a very fast-firing SMG, and of course the Groza to be a middling sort of assault rifle. To the weapon changes that we are receiving, there's a lot of stuff to cover here, very, very exciting, of course. In the AK-47, we've reduced the headshot multiplier, which is always good, reduced damage for the 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel, which is the last barrel option as well, which I haven't been using, but apparently people have been using, and it was quite effective, so they've reduced the damage numbers there. In the Krieg 6, they have reduced the headshot multiplier. I mean, the headshot multiplier is only like 1.4 for most weapons, so this isn't super significant, and it basically makes the guns worse. The FR1 might be back on, boys. The increased damage ranges, which is really, really nice. I believe they added the effective damage range out to about 40 meters or so, which is super exciting. And they have reduced the recoil slightly, which is, of course, a good thing as well. We've received increases to effective damage ranges for a lot of the submachine guns here. I mean, there's only 5, and this is 3 of them. So the Milano 821 has increased its effective damage range, along with the KSP, which is actually an absolute laser machine. Like, this might be one of the weapons you should be taking a look at the moment. We're probably going to be making a class setup on that very, very soon. And the Bullfrog as well, which is a very, very interesting weapon in this game. A lot of bullets to fire, does decent damage, so better damage range is, of course, going to be very good with the Bullfrog. Now, we have seen some nerfs, of course, to the tactical rifles, reduce the maximum effective range on the M16 and reducing the fire rate, which is fairly interesting. And, of course, I believe this is the AUG? Tactical Rifle Charlie, why wouldn't they just like the AUG? I don't know why they do this cryptic, weird stuff. But we have reduced the headshot multiplier, reduced maximum effective range, reduced fire rate, and, of course, the reduced damage for the 19.8-inch Task Force barrel, which is the last barrel option, I believe. So basically, the AUG is going to be a little bit worse, but I still think it's going to be one of the best guns in the game, simply because you're going to get those one burst kills in 150 milliseconds, which is just, oh, mwah. And we have adjusted barrel attachments that improve fire rates for tactical rifles. Doesn't say it's good or bad, so that's kind of interesting. Light machine guns, the M60 has increased aim down sight speed and, of course, weapon swap speeds now, which is cool. I'm not a fan of the light machine guns at the moment, but we'll be taking a look at them fairly soon, I guess. In the sniper rifles, I believe this is the M82. We've increased the damage multiplier for upper chest to allow for a one-hit kill without attachments. That's a good thing. Like, a lot of people were complaining about not getting a one-shot kill if you shot somebody in the chest with a Barrett 50 cal, and that's pretty ridiculous. Barrel will increase one-hit kill zones to the upper arms, which is nice, and recoil adjusted for higher shot power. The pistols, we have received an increased effective damage range on the Magnum as well as an increased fire rate, which is kind of interesting. That will be very, very good for, like, the Akimbo Magnum setup as well. In the shotguns, this is very, very sad. They're making the shotguns that are kind of powerful worse, which is a little bit sad. The Hauer 77, of course, has decreased damage range, which is very sad, and decreased damage range for the 25.2-inch Task Force barrel, which is the one that increases your damage. Then the Shotgun Bravo, which is the Gallo SA-12, decreased the damage ranges, decreased the fire rate, and decreased the damage range for that larger barrel as well. Very sad day for these options because, I mean, that's sad. I like the shotguns in this game. They're not super powerful, but they can feel a little bit oppressive sometimes, so it's okay, I guess, but it is sad to see them get nerfed. And then, of course, we've adjusted barrel attachments that improve fire rates for shotguns, which, I mean, again, one of those things that's like, is that bad? Is that good? Don't know. In terms of perk changes, we have seen... Ooh... We've seen some flak jacket nerfs, so reduced explosive damage mitigation, which is kind of interesting. We'll see if this makes a difference. Forward intel increased viewable minimap area. Okay, forward intel's really good and they just made it better, but whatever. Ninja has removed protection from field microphone detection. That's kind of interesting. So they nerfed Ninja, and Spycraft added full immunity to field mic detection. So they switched these two perks around, which is kind of interesting. We've slightly increased the damage range on the frag grenade, slightly increased the Molotov, and reduced the heal speed of the stim shot. That's kind of interesting as well. The field microphone now no longer detects people who are crouch walking, ADS walking, or swimming, which is interesting. That's a big nerf to the field microphone. The gas mine has increased damage, removed detonation delay, and reduced how much a player will be slowed when affected by the gas, which is always interesting as well. We've seen some changes to the score streaks, including a new one, which is basically an advanced UAV, which can be shot down, which is kind of sad. Like, you don't really like to see something like that, especially when there is a piece of field equipment that just shoots down kill streaks. And then, of course, I believe the air patrol might end up blowing this up, so it's kind of sad to see, but the advanced UAV is back, which is always good. And then there is, of course, a lot of other stuff within zombies and stuff like that. Basically just fixes adding the Mac-10 and the Groza, of course. Specific changes to D-Machine, which is, of course, very, very interesting. We're not really going to read too much of this because they're just sort of little specific changes I think super important. Moving on, various fixes as well for PC and stuff like that. They're, of course, adding the new map into Warzone. We got Rebirth Island, which is a 40-player count, similar to sort of a mini Battle Royale style, which is kind of cool as well. And, of course, there is a new Gulag in Verdansk. We've, of course, got seasonal stuff, modes in terms of Rebirth Island as well when you respawn. And of course, we're getting all of the Black Ops Cold War weapons being added into Warzone as well, which is super, super exciting. So 6 assault rifles, 6 submachine guns, 4 marksman rifles, 3 lighter machine guns, 3 sniper rifles, 3 pistols, 2 shotguns, and 3 launchers, and 1 melee weapon, which is kind of nifty. Getting new operators and stuff as well, which is not super exciting, but it is one of those things that they are adding. Italic helicopters have been changed as well, but nothing, again, super interesting here, of course. And that's basically it. So this is a very, very big patch, of course. I don't actually believe the size is going to be too massive. I don't think it mentions anything on here about how big the patch is actually going to be in terms of size, but there was the balance patch that we did see that did drop yesterday, and these are the patch notes that include that as well, and that was only like 5 or 6 gigabytes, so we'll have to wait and see just how big the patch is. But if you can start downloading that weapon patch, and then we'll have to wait and see once the patch does drop in about 4 hours after this video does go live. Very, very exciting times, of course. So make sure you hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, of course, because there is going to be a lot of Season 1 content coming up. We're going to be playing some Warzone on that Rebirth Island. That smaller Battle Royale style is going to be very, very cool, of course. And, of course, Raid. And, of course, the Pines and the new guns. So there's lots of stuff to cover, so we'll definitely be getting around to testing that and taking a look at everything that we can as soon as possible. So don't miss out on any of that by hitting that subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching this one. I do appreciate it, of course, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!